Hi there, this is Dr. Dell, and today we're going to talk about fractions. Now, this is something that you run into occasionally, particularly when things are expressed in fractions, and you may want to know how to handle them. Fortunately, with the calculator we have, it's very easy to deal with fractions now with this calculator, and I'm going to show you how to do that. First of all, what is a fraction? 1/2 is a fraction, for example, where you have what's called a numerator and a denominator. The thing on top is the numerator, and the thing on the bottom, the number on the bottom, is called the denominator. If I spelled that right. You know my spelling when I'm in a hurry here. I sometimes miss it, but that's probably about right. And you can have all kinds of fractions, 1/2, 2/3. Now, obviously what this means is if you take a pie and you divide it into a number of pieces in the denominator, in this example 3, and then the numerator is 2, tells you how many of the pieces of pie that you want. So you can think of this as part of a pie, and it doesn't matter how big or small the denominator and the numerator might be. You could have, for example, 17/39. Well, in that case, you'd have to divide the pie into 39 pieces. They'd be pretty small slivers, and then you'd have to count up 17 of them, and that would probably be about this many, and so you'd have 17/9 if you took all these slivers here. Now, what's always convenient is to convert that into a decimal, and that means you've got to divide 17 by 39. So, for example, using our trusty calculator here, we're going to do that. We'll take 17, and we'll divide it by 39, and that will equal 0.4358, and we usually don't need that many decimals, so I'm going to fix that to about 3 decimal places, 0.436. So we would say in decimal terms this is 0.436. Now, you can do that conversion very easily with this calculator in the following way. Down in the lower right corner, there's a key that says A and then little b over little c, and that's the fraction key that you use. And what you do there is you take 17, I'm going to clear the calculator, you take 17 and you hit that key. And you'll notice now that it says 17 with a little squiggly symbol there. That represents the line. And then we'll put in 39, and now you have 17/39, and you can see that on the calculator. Now, what we can do with the key that's below that, you have to look on your calculator. It says FD in yellow, and that means it'll convert a fraction to a decimal. So you hit the second key and hit that this arrow, which will be then the F converted to D, and there's 0.436. So you converted the fraction to a decimal. If you hit it again, it'll go back to the fraction, 17/39. So this bottom key allows you to convert fractions to decimals. Now that's the first nice thing. The second thing is you have probably learned somewhere back in school how to add fractions. The formula for adding fractions is to take a fraction a over b, add it to a fraction c over d, and that's ad plus bc divided by bd, and then you try to reduce that to lowest term. So for example, 2/3 added to, let's say, 1/7 would be 2 times 7 is 14, plus 3 times 1 is 3, divided by 3 times 7, which is 21, so that would end up being 17/21. Now, this calculator will let you do that directly, so you don't have to remember this formula to do this calculation. Let's do it ourselves and see what happens. Let's take 2/3, 2, enter 3, and there's a fraction 2/3. Let me try that again, 2 and then 3. There's 2/3. Now, let's add that to 1, enter, whoops, got an error there. Let me try this again. 2, enter, 3. Okay, that's just 2/3. I shouldn't have hit that key again unless I wanted to enter another number. So 2/3, add that to 1/7 and hit equal, and there it is, 17/21, which is 21st. So this calculator will add fractions. Now you should do a bunch of these problems on your own. Just take a bunch of fractions and add them, and you'll see how it works. For example, well, let me show you the next thing you need to know, because very quickly you're going to get fractions that are bigger than 1. For example, you can have an improper fraction such as 17/8, and that turns out to be 2 1/8 because 2 is 16/8. So this is called an improper fraction, and we can enter those into the calculator too. So I'm going to clear it, and I'm going to hit 2 and hit the key. Then I'm going to hit 1 and hit the key. And then I'm going to have to enter the eighth. Now there's an improper fraction, 2 1/8. Now, above this key we'll convert it, is D over C. That converts this to an improper fraction. So I hit second, this key, and there's 17/8. So 17/8 and 2 1/8 are the same thing. If I hit second and hit that key again, that goes back to 2 1/8. So you want to practice with that a little bit. What would be, for example, 39/17? Well, let's clear the calculator, and let's add 39, hit this, hit 17ths, and there's the improper fraction. Now, if I hit the second key and hit that key again, it's 2 5/17. If I undo that, I hit it again, it's back to 39/17. So that's how you deal with improper fractions.